Year-to-date net inflows into gold ETFs and mutual funds that were much larger than to those for gold mining and refining companies. That suggests to Panigert to Zulu that retail investors in particular were leaning into the debasement trade as a hedge against a catastrophic scenario, because investing in gold miners would be less effective as one. Meanwhile, private investors, individuals, as well as family offices have started to put a premium on privacy tangibility. A gold since the pandemic have been buying gold bars and coins rather than ETFs. That has made the link between gold ETF flows and gold prices less important, and the link between central bank flows and gold more so, according to JP Morgan. Central banks have been leaning into gold too, though data from the World Gold Council for the second quarter would suggest that central banks bought less gold than in the preceding 2 quarters in terms of tons. Net purchases of around 18 billion in dollar terms are near quarterly averages since the back half of 2022. Meanwhile, gold's share in foreign exchange reserves is estimated at 24% for the second quarter. According to JP Morgan, a new high that's slightly above the first quarter's 23%. So we see banks increasing their investment into gold. Gamebridge believes, I think that's actually it. Hold on, wait. Yeah, guys, that's a telltale sign that the fact that the banks are moving there. Okay, mind you, you know, we got to look at what happened. And Ms. Karen just said, I watched The Big Short yesterday for the first time. And what stood out to me was that there were signs ahead of the housing collapse, but only a few who understood the technical side and were able to profit. Absolutely. Now they were able to profit, and it was a very bad time for a lot of people. When we look at this, Ms. Karen, now that you've watched the video, Case Night, what is, and it's not necessarily, and I don't want to be jokey. I try not to be, because I know some of this is really not a laughing matter at all, transparently. But when we look at this, what are we seeing here? In the movie, the banks kind of committed fraud in a certain way. In case not, correct me if I'm wrong. Or let me just ask you, what did they start doing? And you could type it, or if you would like to unmute, you can unmute from what you saw when the bank saw what was about to happen. What did they do in the movie, if you don't mind sharing? Because sometimes it's good to have
Yes.
you share.
Blessings, everybody. Good morning. What I saw them do was they kind of, I want to say not necessarily paid off, but they kept their ratings and that was fraudulent because even though they were losing money, they kept their rating with the Standard and Poor rating is what I mean, the AAA rating, the top rating. So they were really trying to cover up all of their losses.
Yeah, yeah. So we're talking about, guys, I mean, billions of dollars here, and this is back in '08. So when we see, and then with not only did they try to do that, but they went and they bought swaps to bet on the housing market crash, right? They actually went to go do that, and they positioned themselves first before they decided to set the ratings correctly. Because if they didn't, they would have been out of a gargantuan amount of money.
Yes.
So we kind of, in a way, as we read this article, it's kind of sticking out to me, that the banks are looking to get into more gold now. And for those of you that know, we do have a fund. And in that fund, we have a partner. Because we're a regulated D fund, we have a partner. Okay. And we have a partner that helps people invest into self-directed, investments with um just with some assets that they may hold. And I'm trying to be mindful of what I say because I do want to share this video, but we can't market and do too much. Um, but we help people we help people with retirement. I put it like that. And what we've seen outside of our own fund is that there has been an inflow of outflows from normal retirement vehicles. So this is something that, as an indicator, guys, as a fund manager, okay, I've seen this. I've seen it in this recent week, to where I've gotten an email personally that has said that there's been a increase in the amount of private investments. So it tells me that we're in a season where a lot of people are not having faith in traditional financial rails. So this is another indicator. And I have to share that. I have to. Um, one of these days I'll give details when I'm not recorded. Um, but it's. I think we're close. I'm actually gonna start recording. Sorry about that, guys. Give me a second. That was technicals. Um, I'm gonna pray about releasing too much, but I will say that, guys, it's imperative that we just pay attention at this time. It's around Christmas. It's a perfect time, or not Christmas, but it's getting later in the evening. I mean, not evening, the year. We just got to pay attention. I would say, based off the things that we're seeing here, please just. I think long-term investments are fine. The ETFs, as we see, going against the dollar index. I mean, great leap trade. If the system lasts, or even if they pay you out, is a question that we have to worry about, because again, the right trade can benefit you within enough amount of time, which is what even you would see in a Big Short. If you watch it, you will see that the gentlemen that did make profits, at a certain time, I mean, they were up a great amount of money. But it was like either they sold it at the right time and it went to zero. I mean, or I'm sorry, they sold it at the right time and they made their profits, or they didn't and it went to zero. So we got to be mindful in regards to that, because we don't know what else will happen, right? With outside forces that may want to take advantage of a weak point in America, as we deal with what we're dealing with as an economy in our government from a civil standpoint, which is why I think there's a lot of inciting of, the left against the right. Um, I think we see a lot of racial insights recently. Just a lot. I think it's a lot. I think the Charlie Kirk thing was definitely trying to be used. Um, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. But it's just a lot there. So I'm not in. And guys, as you can see, I mean, a lot of this is not conspiracy here. This is just facts. If you just do research, I mean, and just look, right? One thing they said in the movie is that we did what most people did, and we just looked. You have an article right here, probably one of the most important articles of the year right now. glory be to God that it just popped up on Investopedia. Um, but it speaks to everything we've been saying for over the year, over this past year. I think from January 1st, from the first ever transition video, if you guys haven't seen it, till now, we're watching this stuff coming to fruition. And anybody that that had questions about what does a full transition look like, if you go in the Discord and you just go to the transition video right here, you can watch this. Okay, now it's about a 3 hour long video, but it's broken up into chapters. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I get a lot of questions personally. Okay, but if I can answer mostly anything, you're going to find a lot of questions. You're going to find a lot of those answers right here. Now, this video was done, um, with the partnership of a ministry, uh, by called Experience Imagine, headed by um, Apostle Tanya, and the blockchain community itself. But this was a video, guys, that explained, the adoption of the new financial system and what that would look like, for you as an individual that had different assets, so on and so forth. And, I encourage anybody to just go look at it, watch it, and just see, the dynamics, because, we had this video, then we had the crash that came in March, then everything came back up and it has been at all-time highs. But now we're facing another issue here that speaks to a very close catastrophic event for our markets and our economy. So it's just here. The data, the information, the fundamentals, the economy, it speaks to what's about to happen next. Right? We say we make data-driven decisions. The only thing that trumps data-driven decisions in your trading and investing, guys, is who? It's the Holy Spirit. So if the Holy Spirit tells you to leave your money in equities, by all means, do it. But I don't believe he's telling you to do that. But if you yourself hear the Holy Ghost saying, put your money in equities and certain securities or certain places, listen to him, because he knows better than what I know. Um, but I believe, guys, he's been saying, pay attention. He's been saying, watch. He's been saying, share. Look at the impending danger that's very close. Now, we could see another pump fake. We might not. I'm not sure. We know in part. When I say pump fake, I mean, we saw what happened when things went south early on. But let's look at the details, guys. We read it, right? Banks are moving into more gold. People are moving into gold because they're seeing the value of the dollar continue to go down. Gold is at 4,000 an ounce. We said it on Monday, and the thing got there Tuesday. I mean, I'm gonna make sure I keep the split screen. But I mean, we have it there without saying too much. We have it there, right? The market just open. Um, I still believe it may be a good idea to trade this thing down for sure. Um, even to the point, guys. I mean, this thing crossed a massive trend line here. Now, given S&P and QQQ likes to break the trend, go down to a level of support and pop right back up, and it could very much well do that today. But this is a 3 touch point trend line, definitely more than 3 touch points. Over a week's worth of data, broke it, could go to the downside. You can wait till it goes below 602 for double confirmation. But if it goes below 602, guys, this thing will go down. Depending on what it wants to do. Now, this is QQQ, so this is NASDAQ, okay? The S&P, something similar. Yesterday, we opened up at around, I believe, what was it, 609, and we closed at around 604, got all the way down to 603. So if you took that trade yesterday as we spoke about it, you would have made a nice gain there. The S&P 500 kind of doing the same thing here, same type of just everything, guys. And this could be very much well a bear flag pattern. It just has to break past these levels here. This 667 level. Um, but again, the article speaks, and what the thing is, gold itself is speaking louder than ever. I mean, we're talking about, look at this, guys. We probably could have put in a trade on gold and just let that thing ride. I may do that on the future side because it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Bitcoin is at 123, and really the cryptos guys have yet to move. So as people look for crypto as a safe haven, it first of all, Bitcoin is at a solid 123 right now, ranging out at a solid place. So the fact that it is looking pretty solid around, I mean, let me go to the right asset. Bitcoin is at 122 right now. It's been in that area. Volatility is inevitable, but risk, it's not there. Okay. It's not there. Bitcoin and gold is proven. So as we see Bitcoin want to take out all-time highs, and even as we see kind of these other cryptos teeter-totter on these levels, and we see XRP kind of broke back down and went to a level of support here. And guys, I think we got some massive indicators for what's still about to happen. I'm just being honest, right? Gold at 4,000 is a big indicator to our economy. It could come down a little bit, level out. They could open up. They could open up the government, but it's hard to say they will. I don't know. They might not at all. In fact, I don't think they're going to. We'll have to see what happens. Oh, you guys said my screen is not showing. Sorry about that. Can you guys see my screen now? Drop a one in the chat if you can see my screen. If you cannot see it should be showing. Okay, all right, cool. But I think we're close. Yeah, I think we're close. Yeah, guys. Get just do me a favor. Make things are in order. Make sure things are in order. Can we do that? Just drop a yes in the chat. Um, let's just make sure things are in order. Um, let's do that. I think it's imperative. Okay. Um, uh, it just it's there. It's here. Okay, it's here. Right. Look at these. Okay. This literally is the ETF we mentioned yesterday. Okay, Snipe asked, what are your top ETFs? GOD was one of them. Okay. Right. We mentioned IBIT. Only thing I did not mention was the DXY to go against it, but that is a good trade. Um, but we mentioned these. I don't know how long to hold them in there because again of our systems and the rails that we're on. But these are literally were two of the top ETFs. We I think you asked about five, right? K Snipe. You asked about five. Um, and those were two that we spoke about. Okay. I did put in the leap yesterday with GOD for 3 months, and it's now up 61%. Wow. Guys, drop some fires in the chat for K Snipe. yo, to be honest with you, it's really not a laughing matter. What it is I'm gonna be honest with you. Miss Karen, I gotta give you honor right here, right now, because you listen, you hear, you execute. That's why your name is K Snipe. You execute fast. If you guys know what snipers do, That when they execute somebody, they execute them fast. They take time to set up. They're very calculated. They got to go to the highest point, or just in a great location to where they can't be really found out. Nobody really knows, and nobody may even see them, but they always execute right on time. They get out right on time. Nobody knows who did it, and they get out of there. And you truly been sniping. And even that, it was like sniper, right? We talked about it, guys. We heard about it. She just put it in there, right? Sniper 2.0 is crazy, right? Might have put Sniper 3.0 because that thing went up. It went up $4.50, guys, overnight. If I'm not mistaken, not mistaken. So it's something that continues to rise. Continues to rise. So continue to trade, guys. Continue to increase your sales, your capacity. But let's take a look at the charts here. Let's do that. Um, we'll look at the charts. Drop a tool in the chat if you can see my screen. Excuse me. Let's go look at some of these. You can just look at gold itself, really. Go to actual commodity. Let's just go to the actual commodity. We just look at gold. Okay. Gold is fine. Yeah, it's just not stopping. I mean, look at this thing. It broke past a level of resistance that it was fighting. Okay, it was fighting this back in that May, June area, giving us a little lag. And as soon as we've reached the end of August, guys, this thing has been taking off, just nonstop, man. This is a beautiful, just beautiful bullish momentum, and it may not stop. It may not stop. I was looking for some pullback on the daily, but it may not really stop there. It may come back, come test some level of support soon. It probably will. But I think at the end of the day, we'll see gold continue to go up, especially because of the uncertainty, especially if the government continues to stay shut down, guys. That's what's going to happen. But we see gold itself kind of just in an uproar right now. It's been very, very bullish. It's been very, very momentous. Right now, QQQ and NAS, they're trying to go ahead and make that comeback as we spoke about. But this may end up being a nice little drop as well. And you guys know that I do believe that you could play that and flip that market. Because if gold goes up, 9 times out of 10, these assets should go down. But in a lot of ways, sometimes they go up as well. Okay. They go up as well. So it's just imperative to just pay attention. Gold, I think the ETFs are very important right now. Very important. I think all the ETFs are super important. Let's go to GLD, take a look at it. So we're going to be taking a look at the ETFs this week primarily by way of the Lord. This is actually a chart on GLD, and I didn't realize that this was drawn and it was executed. Wow. Here goes the play that we drew, and it did what it was supposed to do. How I know it did because I didn't even finish the arrow here. It went past this drawing. So this is from a while ago. But this is GLD, guys. It actually broke above like it did, and it's been going ever since. Wow. Wow. Okay, GLD. What else you got for us, Lord? So GLD looks good. Let's take a look at this flagpole because this is, what pattern is this, guys, from our traders that's been on consistently? What pattern is this? Let me know if you know what pattern it is. Drop it in the chat. Drop your guess in the chat. See what it is. Yep, case night, bull flag pattern. Perfect. But that's what we're looking at here. Bull flag pattern. If I had to look at this is always a good estimate. It doesn't mean it's the perfect or the exact estimate, but it is a good estimate. But you can always kind of figure out how long was this flagpole on the opposite end. Come right over here, okay, and see where it could possibly go. So it may actually have a little bit more to go. As we look at just, from top to bottom, from bottom to top, from it reaching that level of support there, we can see it kind of leveling out soon, possibly consolidating a little bit in the near future, or based on the fundamentals and everything going on, it'll just continue to break forth as we kind of see it doing. So, yeah, God, I don't see gold slowing down too much often. We see levels here throughout it. Right now I'm looking at from a daily perspective. Um, so we'll probably consistently see this thing go up. It's been going bonkers since the end of August, all throughout September, even until now, going even crazier in what we call October, especially for the crypto market. So it's looking pretty swell. Hood still for me is a great asset, but I still believe that the best things to look at are these ETFs. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dollar index real quick. Let's take a look at and read what we've been saying, or chart what we've been reading about. The dollar index dropping. Let's go to the daily. Okay, if you don't know what index this is DXY to really see what's going on with the dollar dominance. See where it is, where it's possibly going, and what does it look like for our immediate future. Actually, I'm going to go over to a weekly perspective. So each candlestick is going to represent a week. We see the overall, guys, over the past, literally since, what is this? We had great dollar dominance right here around 85. And this thing just has been going on a nice little decline here, right? We've had our ups, but for the most part, we went on a decline back in 2007, 2008 when that crash came. This is where we were. The dollar was complete and total trash. It actually was our low around that time. So when we look at this low being here, what do we see? We have higher highs and higher lows when we're looking at assets like the dollar. I'm sorry, if asset is going up, we have higher highs and higher lows. But if asset is going down, we have lower lows and lower highs, right? In the opposite direction. So as we look at this, and we do see some resistance here right out around this level for dollar dominance, at least for the long chart, where is there possibly any way that we can see the dollar going down? Okay, so right now we got a level charted there of support. This would probably even help us give us an idea of what happened, right? When we talk about charting, what do we know? Okay, we know that if we got something with over 3 touch points, right? This is well over a week's worth of data. We're talking about 10 plus years worth of data here and information for the dollar index. Guys, the second this thing drops below this line, we're in a very big pickle. I mean, we kind of already are, but the second it crosses this line and breaks this trend here, and I want to make sure that this is right on these levels here. I want to put it right on it because I just want to see. Well, we got a great amount of touch points because this can go here, right? Because that is a wick. This can go right there, right? So we got 1, almost 2, almost 3, 4, five. Well, I mean, we definitely got 3+ touch points. Okay, on this trend. So this trend breaks, guys. Dollar's going here. Okay, it just is what it is. And if it does that, it's possible that we see okay, we know we see a low, we see a high here, we see a lower high. Okay, a lower high here. Okay, we see a low, we got a lower low and a lower low. Okay, so the dollar goes down, guess what? We're gonna get a lower low. All right, we're gonna get a lower low. Okay, so look at it from that perspective. The lowest we've seen was in 2008. So that means if we get across here, it's very possible that we could see a greater low, which would be a greater catastrophe for the US. So it's one thing to hear the words, but it's another thing to do technical analysis and see it. If we break below 70 on a dollar index, we're already in big trouble to go below this line here. But just by doing a simple strategy that references trend lines and support and resistance, guys, we literally just charted in a lot of ways what could possibly be the demise of the dollar um, from a weekly perspective. We see that we're actually pretty close. If you see this, do me a favor, drop a 3 in the chat. Um, I believe that a lot of these recordings this week are pretty important. Man, because I mean the data and the information is just here, guys. So Jesus. So let me ask you this about the data and information that we've been seeing. It's funny because we've been going over this strategy. We've been talking about it over the past year or so. We've been hitting it nonstop every single day. Now take a look at what we're watching. What are we charting right now? This is the dollar dominance. It's real, guys. It's not a joke. It's not just somebody speaking on a mic or giving you the prophetic word. Right now, we're doing a technical and fundamental analysis that speaks to a coming economic, quote unquote. I said it before, but now I'm going to quote the article, catastrophe. Okay, this is around the time, just perfect timing for other companies or organizations to rise up against us. When the dollar looks weak, when there's civil suits going on within our own presidency, you gotta be mindful. So, um, you know, I think we're close. I think it's safe to say that going against QQQ, going against SPY might be a really good idea. It might take a little bit longer, so you may want to get some leaps. GLD, great asset to go with, go calls there for those leaps. Wouldn't be mad at it at all. You heard Case Knight say she's up 61% on a 3 month. Might be good to reposition and go with the leap there. But then again, if the system goes out 3 months, it might be the best one. Because as the system go down, then all of it goes to crap, right? You don't know what's going to happen with your money. Okay. But in the short term, while it lasts, you can take advantage of this. But it'll be very imperative that you know when to get out by time it go by way of the Holy Ghost. IBIT shares for sure, because Bitcoin will rise. So we know IBIT shares. We know GLD and IBIT calls are going to be really good. I think SPY or SPX, NAS, or in anything that has to do with the indexes such as S&P 500 or NASDAQ puts there for elite might be pretty good. And then the rest of it, if I had to get one more, anything against the dollar would work. The housing market will be impacted for sure. We know that. So we can put in some trades there now. We're talking about ways to put in trades, but I caution you guys, please go to the Lord and ask him what he wants you to do with it. Because if you do these things, it almost is guaranteed that you will make profit. Okay. But please be in intimacy with Christ because there's so much more that's going to happen. People are going to lose jobs. A lot of things are going to happen. You know, it's going to be some mess here, because companies got to save money. Uh, tariffs returned. Definitely could see, you know, hyperinflation. You know, go invest in some stuff you need for your family. I think I'm gonna be taking some time to do that myself. Um, and really sitting with some of this stuff because it's here, guys. I don't know what else to say. I think it's really close. I think we've been prepped for over a year. Jesus, you know. So a little sad. So forgive me. But um, because sometimes it's not good to be right. You understand what I'm telling you? And I know I'm just a man, so take it back to the Lord and ask him. Our system truly is trash. And the prayer is that people get it. Watch churches, I know ministries, I know people that, you know, love on your family, love on your people, speak to them with love, don't try to shove this information. I mean, share it with as much people as possible. I don't think we should try to, you know, force anything on anybody, but I think let them know is important. But we close, y'all. It's hard for me to even trade with this information, to be honest with you. Because I don't know. Again, it can pop back up in the next couple of days, but I feel it innately, guys. We are close. Um, and close can mean 3 months from now, 6 months from now, possibly a year. I just know we close, man. I mean, according to this right here, this crosses and doesn't bounce how it needs to, guys. I can't tell you. I mean, I'm literally looking at it with you. I can't tell you. I know my strategy. We could, even here. I mean, we've seen it early this year to where the dollar kind of declined back in what is this? I'm sorry, this is not this year. This is in 2021. Okay, so we've seen it to where it got to a level here. Yeah, I mean, even then, right? We're talking about the COVID years, right? COVID started, things went down. Okay. Even then, if it comes down here, it still wasn't necessarily the greatest time, but at least not for everybody, right? So may the Lord just give us understanding in all things. But I do see it. It's still going to happen. And I guess that's just make sure you're in the right position, get your family in position, get your loved ones in position, because some of this stuff just sucks. You got people, man, that live their whole life with a traditional financial system. They so used to the bank, and you talk to them about crypto or something, guys, and they look at you like it's rocket science. Um, you got financial advisors that they don't know, guys. They don't know, or they don't want to know because their entire life is predicated on a banking system that has been set to fail. for years, right? This is the same thing we saw in a Big Short, but now it's just happening in real time, and it's trash. It's so trash. And that's why it's important for kingdom people to just be in positions to just do the right things, you know. Um, so just share, guys. I think this, if you can do anything here, that I ask, just share the information. It's not about me, it's more about the the sovereignty and the safety of God's people. Um, because it's imperative that we know. I think it's important that we know. Uh, yeah, that's it. You know, that's it. You guys should be able to go to sit down with your own churches, your own. You don't have to call me. You just have enough information to go and sit down with your own churches to tell them this is, hey, we need to set up an exchange. We need to set up a cold wallet because it doesn't look good. We need to be able to accept cryptocurrency as a seed. Okay, we need to be able to do that. We need to be able to take whatever that the church wants to invest. We should be able to storage in a reserve asset like Bitcoin or gold. Okay, probably the easiest is going to be Bitcoin. If you guys know anybody that wants to do that, I do have a link with a nonprofit. I work directly with somebody at the crypto.com exchange, an OTC representative that can help anybody with the nonprofit get set up with crypto, with a crypto account. Okay, so if you're a church, if you're a nonprofit, you just need an exchange to purchase the crypto and then just send it to your own cold wallet, whatever the case, you can do that. Okay. It is strictly a treasury account for you and your nonprofit, for you and your business. Um, Unless you apply for something other than that, we have one for our nonprofit. And I just encourage you guys to, take advantage of that. Okay. Take advantage of that. It's important. It's important. But just share your research, share your things with the people, continue to share it in the chat. I thank those of you that are consistent. I thank you for being consistent. May the Lord bless you and increase you in all things investing and trading, period. I know we got K Sniper here. I know I shouted her out, but we got some other snipers. We got some other investors in here that have been doing a fantastic job. They got in early. You guys, I just got to give honor to you all. Um, you know, um, so God bless you. And I'm gonna stop recording at this time.